Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 14th of December, and it's the VSA Morning Miner. David Scriven, I'm with Ollie O'Donnell. How are you today?
Yeah, very well, thanks, David. How are you doing? Have you managed to escape from your icy lair?
No, I'm still in the igloo. It's still in rural parts of Britain. There is still a thick layer of snow, but it is thawing now. Um, but on the subject of the mining sector, I noticed this morning that nickel was off 4%, but it does look as if it's related to position roll forwards in a fairly illiquid market. So we've had problems in this area before, but it looks to be sort of temporary, if you will. But in other areas, precious metals have been quite solid since we had those inflation numbers. And silver touched $24 yesterday, which is very encouraging. A name that we follow, Guanajuato Silver, announced a deal on Monday. And then in Rio Tinto, I noted that JP Morgan has put out there that it's cut its ratings on Rio, but remains very much overweight in the sector, despite, I might add, in Rio's case, strong tailwinds for the company. That leads me on to another announcement that you could kindly comment on about Rio.
Yeah, there's some headlines that they've been discussing M&A in the lithium space. Obviously, their massive Serbian project, Jadar, was put on hold because of issues with permitting and government relations there. So aside from their Rincon project in Argentina that they acquired relatively recently, they're now looking for other projects, and they're obviously going to have to be large scalable project. I think Rincon's got reserves of sort of 2 million tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, and it's that sort of project which is going to be able to make a dent on Rio's earnings, and it probably needs prices to stay somewhere above historic levels to mean that's the case. I remember, we've been looking at this for a few years, and at the sort of $6,000 to $10,000 a ton price, a 20,000 ton lithium project really doesn't make much of a difference to Rio's earnings, and so the effort to join the market wouldn't be worthwhile. But with higher prices, that's perhaps not the case anymore.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And also flipping back to Serbia, I mean, I think comments very recently, if not yesterday, the PM is giving very much the signals that it just isn't going to happen, but we'll see in the future. Then I guess in other news, we saw some comment on helium-1.
Yeah, that's probably about the only material bit of news on the London sort of small cap markets this morning. It looks like it's starting to wind down ahead of Christmas, but they have successfully completed an oversubscribed placing. They were looking for £7 million, and they've got 9.9 million. I think this is primarily to fund the next drilling programs in Tanzania on their primary lithium project. I think the macro story around helium still remains pretty strong. A couple of years ago, there were drawdowns on strategic reserves and little supply to fill in the gap, with demand rising for things like MRI machines, airbags, leak detectors, fiber optics, semiconductors, so a whole range of materials where in small volumes it plays a key role. So new supply is needed there, and prices have risen strongly. Helium-1's first set of exploration results were disappointing, and the stock, which traded up very strongly in the run up to those results, came off sharply. So I think there might be, with the oversubscription, clearly there's optimism that the next phase of drilling is is likely to be successful. But given the changes in the market and liquidity since that drill program in 2021, I don't know quite whether they're going to get as much excitement in the run up to those results this time round.
Interesting comments by your good self there, and obviously very one to watch. I guess, as you mentioned, we are fairly light on news, so perhaps we should draw it to a close unless you've got any further comments.
No, that's great for today, David. I think we'll be back tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.